This is what I need, that and that. Okay. So, soak offs. How are you guys doing your removals? Or how have you seen removals done before? This is the part that's interesting to me. How how do they take your nails off?
They get
With
a
that nail.
nail and then they dig under it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Ooh, that hurt so bad.
ooh, for real? That's what they do?
Because it's MMA. They can't soak it off.
But, so I have a little story. This weekend we went to go to the nail supplies to buy all our extra products, like red polish and stuff for y'all's kids, because I can get them a little cheaper over there in Atlanta. But anyway, we were in the nail supply, the nail mall in ATL, and I noticed that they had, like, good morning, they had all of this monomer with like no name brands or brands that I've never really seen before. One of them was this brand called Coastal. It was like it wasn't COASTAL. It was like COSTAL, Coastal or something like that. Anyway, so I noticed that she had like three different colors in these big jugs. One was blue and it said original. One was green and it said fast set. And then there was an empty spot. So I was like, well, what's the difference in these ones that you have here? And she said, oh, well, the ones that sells out all the time is the EMA. I was like, oh, so no one wants to buy your MMA? And she was like, looking at me funny, like she didn't even know what I was talking about. So long story short, if she says that all of the EMA is sold out, what's EMA, you guys? It's the right kind of monomer to use, right? This is the one that doesn't smell really strong, that doesn't set as soon as you like pick it up, right? The legal monomer. So it was sold out. She was sold out of the. She said, "Oh, that's our EMA base." I was like, "So no one wants to buy the MMA? Is that what you're saying?" Because they had plenty of MMA on the counter. So long story short, that MMA. What did we talk about when it comes to MMA? Soaking it off. Do y'all remember the characteristics of it?
Back, like gummy.
It'll look gummy. It'll look like really sticky and really not really come off. But EMA should just flake off into the bottom of your soak off bowl. Now, so when you guys, by the way, you can join us in our Zoom today because you guys will not be able to see anything. We'll have a Zoom where you guys can see exactly what's going on over here because we do have one of our students who removed her nails, and one is a little struggle. She got a struggle nail over there. We're gonna take a look at it. I want you guys to see what happens when you injure a nail. It took how long for it to kind of get to where it didn't hurt? About a week before she could soak it off properly. So good morning, everyone. So how are some, you guys said that some of the ways that they've removed nails was by prying it off. Now, what's the problem with that? Even if they use EMA, which is the legal monomer, what's the problem with removing your nails by prying them off? You're ripping off layers. And how many layers do we have on our nails generally? 50 or less, right? So if you, for instance, you got those nail techs out here that do not do full sets or, refills, excuse me. You got these nail techs that are not doing refills. How are they removing the nails? And if they are removing the nails properly, how many layers of nail is ending up in that coming off, right? Because you're a lot of times they're scraping it off with a scraper or they're prying it off. What about gel polish? How are they getting gel polish? How do you guys take your gel polish off? You filing it off?
I used to take it off when I was young.
I'm about to say that. Be for real now. Tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. How y'all you peel it off, don't you? You just peeling it off. Jasmine done told the truth. She said, I peel it off my toes. And y'all know that. You know how I feel about that. Now what you got left? some thin, tore up toenails. Okay, so let's not go there because we can have a whole conversation about that. So how do we properly remove acrylic nails, gel polish, and things of that, and any enhancement on the nails? If obviously ripping it off isn't the answer, right? So what's the next best thing? Soaking it off. And to be 100% honest with you guys, soaking off my nails is what has kept these, because I've been kind of like growing my nails out a little. I'm going to see how healthy they'll never really let them grow. And they look this nice. And folks say all the time, oh, your natural nails look so pretty. Well, how? Well, y'all know I wear stuff on my natural nails. I wear enhancements on my natural nails. The reason why they stay so healthy and strong is because I soak them off properly, okay? So even when you soak off, there's several different ways to soak nails off, okay? So you've got your bowls, and here, I've got my fancy little bowl that if you sign up for the class today on our Zoom, you'll get the bowl for free. And then we also have other ways to do it. And this is a acetone resistant bowl. This is not to be confused with your manicure bowl. If you put acetone in your manicure bowl, it will start to melt a bit, okay? It won't melt like soaking off your nails, but it will get a little, the color will change. It'll get all white and crusty and stuff like that. So you don't really want to do that. But these are soak-off bowls that are made specifically for soaking off. And I really love these. These are my favorite ones because they're double-walled, and you can put the warm water in there. And what have we learned about heat when it comes to chemicals in the nails that we do? It speeds up everything. Heat speeds up everything, to include the removal, okay? So if you don't have one of these fancy bowls, what can you use instead? Right? Exactly. You can do that method. But what can we use as far as bowls are concerned? Or something to put our acetone in? Metal or glass. Never use your mama's good Tupperware. Do not put it in. How many of y'all, because I know some of you, a student does this every time. Every single class. They'll take one of those little plastic cups we got and put some acetone in it. And then they look at the table and they're like, the thing done melted and spread across the table. How many of y'all did it and didn't tell me? Deasia said, I did it. I did it. I ain't gonna lie, I did it. So nothing plastic, right? Especially not something like a bowl from your kitchen or whatever. It's going to melt. I remember one time I put some acetone in styrofoam. I don't know what I was thinking. A styrofoam cup. It just disintegrated. Whole cup just melted on the table. And then it just spread all over the table. It was just a mess. But what you said, metal or glass. Now, here's the thing. Did I tell you guys the story about when I went to Digits Nail Bar and they had the jugs of colorful acetone in the back? Okay, so the new people didn't hear it. So when I was doing consulting and helping this salon, local salon, they're no longer open. Someone bought it. And I was doing this consultations for this salon to try to help them, build their business. And they had opened up a salon, didn't really know anything about the salon business, nail salon business. So I went in there the first day and I'm looking around. Of course, I see all I see is state board violations everywhere. Towels like rolled up and neatly put on the shelf. Can we do that? Where are they supposed to be? That is what? Covered, right? You can't, I know that's cute and all, but it's a state board violation, right? So I'm going through and I'm like, y'all got to take that down. You got to take this down. You can't have this, right? So then I get to the back, and mind you, in the back, it was a small break room area. And then they had in the kitchen, the kitchenette, these jugs, they were acetone jugs, but inside the jugs was this like really weird colored, kind of lightly pink, maybe not really clear liquid in it. And on top of the jugs, they had a funnel, just a funnel, and a paper towel. And I looked and I'm like, what's going on here? They said it's acetone. I said, this acetone is not muddy colored. It's clear. So What are y'all doing in the funnel? What's this going on here? Because they were using bowls like this, which is very wasteful, you guys. Please don't let me see y'all pouring a half a cup of acetone into one of these bowls and soaking your nails off. Not when I'm paying for the acetone. Now, when you paying for it, you can do whatever you want with that $25 a gallon bottle of acetone. So what they were doing was soaking off clients in these bowls and then taking a funnel with a piece of paper towel to strain it and pouring the dirty acetone into the acetone bottle and reusing it on clients. I was so disgusted. I was livid. I was like, get me out of here. I'm going home. I need a moment. But think about how much the stuff costs. I don't care how much it costs. Don't put my hand in somebody's nasty acetone that's been soaking their fingers. Because y'all know what it looks like when you finish soaking off. Look, it leaves a little film at the bottom. The polish, the old acrylic, the whatever you had under your nails is floating around in there. Fingernail pieces, all of that stuff. Gross. You should have seen the paper towel that was funneling off all this stuff. It was really gross. But anyway, that's not how it's done. Okay, so there's many different ways to soak off. You guys, I gave everyone in here one of those little finger bowls because I had ordered too many, right? I don't think you guys got one yet. I'm going to give you guys one. Those little finger bowls that have the little tiny little holes and you just kind of put your fingers in there. And that is better, but it's still wasteful in a sense. I mean, you're still going to have some left over. But my favorite bowls to use, so of course metal bowls will work. You could do it. But what I like to do if I'm using a metal bowl like this is I like to take a little bit of paper, like a paper towel, and just kind of stuff it in there and then wet the paper towel with acetone and put the fingers in it so that the fingers are touching the paper towel. And that's so much less wasteful than filling up a bowl of acetone, okay? Now, these in particular have that double wall, so, you know, Mr. Eric went ahead and filled this up with hot water for me. But if you look at this, it's got the little holes, individual holes in it. So you're going to just fill up the, and put I like to put hot water. Y'all know that hot water, we got hot water that's like super hot. But this is hot water that you can make hot tea with or something in that back water dispenser. So I like to fill this up with that and then fill these up just enough so that the finger can fit in there. So if you guys want to get one of these, you can absolutely get one. We have them. But otherwise, at State Board, you have to do a soak off. That's one of the procedures that you have to do. So I'm going to show you guys several ways to soak off. Well, 2 ways to soak off. You've got your bowls, right? But at State Board, you're going to use, and I want to thank the lady at the LA Nail in Atlanta. She gave me like a bag full of these, just free. But these are already pre-made little soak-off foils, okay? And these are by OPI. They're called Expert Touch. They're really, really cute. You can buy these at, Mr. Johnny sells these too. But look, they've got a little cotton pad on it and foil already attached. So when you put this on the client, now this is one thing I don't like about these. That little patch ain't doing nothing. I mean, it's like little tiny amount of acetone. You're going to soak that with acetone and wrap the finger up, right? But what if you just take the client's finger? Are you just going to take your nail with all that acrylic on it and just put it in here and wrap it and expect it to come off? It's going to take forever. Not to mention, remember, acetone, it evaporates. So you're going to have to probably add more acetone to this. So me personally, these are cute and all, but I like to have a little bit more cotton than just this little pad. And we're going to be removing as much of the acrylic as we can off of the nail before we wrap it. Because if you put it in there and it's a thick chunk of acrylic on there, it's just going to take too long. So I'm going to show you guys how you're going to do it at State Board versus how you would do it in real life. Because nobody's doing this in real life. Unless, what would you use these for in real life?
Gel.
On what? Thank you. Gel on the toes. You guys, if you're going to be putting a gel on the toes, which I know you're going to do it. Why? Because the clients are going to want you to do it. and you got bills to pay. But if you're going to put gel on the toes, even though I do not agree that you guys do it until you are very, very, very good at removing it. How was your experience, Naja, removing your mom's gel off her toes the other day?
More than half of the thing. And then she sat there and complained the entire time about how long he was taking.
Exactly. Because you were doing it the safe way and not using an e-file that you're not really that good at using yet, right? And at the end of the day, you have to file on those tiny little toes with an acrylic. Barely. Don't talk about your mama on live like that. Don't do that.
I love my mother.
But listen though, like, wouldn't it have been a lot easier to just kind of like etch over it with the e-file, right? To get the shine, because you know you got to break the seal when we're talking about gel. And you guys were doing, I think we're doing the gel chapter this week. And then apply this to the toes to soak it off. But still, let's talk about how long does it take
It's about 10 minutes.
for you to do it that way, right? But even to soak it off, it may take just as long. And it's just too much work for those little bitty toes and too much of a risk, okay? So removing it with the toes, this is a much better option in real life, okay? Now, when you guys get into the salon, I'm not doing this. This is too much. First of all, I use my e-file to remove as much of the product as possible. And then we going in here. And how many of these do you think I'm going to have? At least one, right? You're going to have one. But if you bougie nail tech like me, you got two. You got somebody soaking in there. But you're going to be filing off or removing one hand while the other one's soaking. So you can alternate. So you don't have to have two. You could just have one, right? So another way to do it is the little glass dishes. What if your client comes in and says, I just broke one nail. I just broke one. Do you want to pull all this out? Because you might want to be prepping or doing something to these other fingers while maybe this one is soaking and you know got something else going on. You just want one. How about just putting just a little acetone in one? So there's a use for these outside of just putting acrylic and monomer in. At the end of the day, I ain't using these. By the way, we went to get you guys your dishes. So we have plenty of dampened dishes so you guys can stop using mine. Because I had like 10, now I have 2. So I don't know where they at. Probably in the dishwasher back there. I mean the sink back there. So, soaking off just one nail, boop. And you don't even have to fill this up with acetone. I would just take a little cotton ball, put some acetone on it, and then put it in the bowl so that it can be absorbed, soaking around that finger the whole time. And that heat can get in there. So there's several ways to do it depending on your situation. Okay? So who you gonna let me soak off your finger? You know I'm gonna talk about you though. Okay, I just want to warn you ahead of time. We'll talk about this little fingernail. So before we do, I demonstrate on you, I want to show you guys how we're going to do it on the mannequin hand, okay? So this is one of the hands that I did last week, right? One of the fingers that I did. So which one are we soaking off at the state board? The sculpted nail. So when I zoom in on here, ooh, look at the zoom. Look at the zoom. When I zoom in on here, the sculpted nail, yeah, these were both sculpted. This one was tipped, excuse me. This is my sculpted nail. So when you guys go to state board, I want to be clear here. You are going to soak this nail off all the way down as if it was new again. This one I soaked off, I think, the last time we did our soak off class. You are not trying to keep on the plastic tip. Everyone, please nod so that you understand what I'm telling you. You're soaking it off as if it is a brand new hand. Do not try to just soak off to the plastic tip. This is so important, okay? Nod one more time. Okay, we got it. Okay, good. Phew. Thank you. All right. I just want to make sure, because this is on document. This is documented. You guys, y'all, they nodded. They understand. I don't want nobody coming back and telling me they didn't hear me say that. Okay? So, this one right here is a sculpted nail. When you get ready to take this off, how are we going to remove? Are you just going to wrap this up and just wait? Because you got 20 minutes to remove one nail. That's a lot of time. If I just soak this nail without trying to remove the majority of this acrylic, am I gonna get it off in 20 minutes? And how many times have you gone to the nail salon and they just were like, here's some acetone, and just stuck your hand in it and made you sit there and wait because they were working with somebody else? And it just took forever. They didn't try to remove the gel polish. Right? So what we're going to do is what I like to call, any of y'all watch RuPaul's Drag Race? You know when she says, what's that little phrase? She says, vogue for your life or dance for your life at the end when they're like, dancing and doing their thing. We're going to file for our life when we're at State Board, right? We're going to, because you don't have an e-file, right? You don't have an e-file, so you've got to remove as much as you can. They're not going to want you to clip this nail and something fly up in the air and hit somebody in the eye. Okay? Somebody did that last week. Was you, Jasmine? You was like, cloop, and the thing said, boom, ping.
Because when I asked you said, see, that's why. And
That's why you don't want, but I don't even put clippers in that section because but look, why would you? Okay, so here's a good reason. Here's a question. When you get ready to remove an actual client's nail, and they've got a nail that's a sculpted nail, what could happen if you clip that nail? It could crack, and 9 times out of 10, it might crack straight across. But what about that one time that it cracks backwards? Woo! Remember, it's attached to the client's finger, so guess what? If it cracks, it's going to crack that client's finger, and it's going to be very painful, and then you got to open wound. You got to wait to even work on it, right? So that's the reason why we're not going to just clip that nail because it's too thick. Now, you could thin it out and then clip the tip of it, right? But if it's thick and you just go clunk, 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 it's all fine, well and good until it happens to you, okay? A lot of people will say, well, I clip them all the time. I just clip, 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 clip. That's fine. And one day, you're going to clip it and it's going to break in a different direction instead of straight across. And that client's going to have pain, okay? And then you can't work on that client's nail. So, in real life, we're going to take our e-file and we're going to thin that nail out, aren't we? What kind of bit are we going to use? Remember which ones? We have our diamond bits and our carbide bits and our sanding bands. Carbide. Why are we going to use carbide?
Because it's sharp.
And it does what? Carbides do what?
Okay.
Carbides cut, right? Carbides remove acrylic. Diamond bits do what? Smooth and grind, okay? So we don't want to smooth this nail down. And remember, our diamond bits, they will wear out a lot quicker, right? So in order to remove acrylic, we want to use a carbide bit, okay? And remember, we want to be careful when we are removing. So I'm going to just show you guys really quickly what I would do in real life versus what I'm going to do at State Board, okay? So I've been charging my e-file this morning. So my diamond bits, let me pull one of those out and show you guys really quickly what is going to happen if you try to do this with a diamond bit. So I got all my little bits here. These are all my bits. Okay. Which one of these do you guys think I should use?
The blue,
I could.
what, the safety at the top?
Right? Now, I'm telling you what I would do in real life. Okay? Y'all, I've got this one here. Remember, this is the scary one. But remember when I told you guys, if you're going to use this scary one, which direction are we going to file in? We're always going to be in forward, not reverse, right? If we're right-handed. If we're left-handed, that's not what I'm asking y'all about, which direction. Which direction am I going to file in? Let me put this on. From sidewall to sidewall or from cuticle to tip? Cuticle to tip, meaning away from the client. we're going to file away from the client. This way. If I file this way with a bit this scary, what happened to the girl. Remember I told y'all it went whoop, all the way around and cut her finger until down to the white meat, right? That was she would bleed and she still wanted a nail done. Can you finish my nails? Like, you got to go to the ER, girl. So in real life, let me turn this on and show you what I would do. Now remember, this is about the speed I'm at right now. I'm going to bump this up because I'm doing a cut down. Remember what we talked about in our E-file class. We got to put some torque behind this, right? So if I put this slow, let me show you. If I try to do this slow, somebody got me in reverse. See, wrong. And make sure you check, because if I was in reverse, I would have went back and hit her cuticle. So let me go to forward, turn off the E-file, go to forward. We're going to turn this on. And if I turn this on to a low speed, someone said the other day, they were like, I can't get, it won't move, it won't do it. I need to try the other E-file. I'm like, so you want to try the old E-file because you don't think this one will do the job. Well, I got it at 2. Turn it up. Turn it up. Don't be afraid. So we got it at, let's say we got it at a 5 right now. So if I got it at this 5, it's not chipping away as much as I want it to. Okay? When you're doing a cut down and removal, you want to turn this up. Now I'm at about 11. Let's see what it does. Now, now it's starting to pull away some of that acrylic. Now, me personally, because I'm never going to clip a nail. I'll never clip a nail when it's thick like this. Only if it's thin. I'm going to remove some of the free edge. So let me do it on here, on this one right here, because this one is a tip. Instead of filing for your life, because you trying to, save your back here when you're a nail technician, okay? I'm going to remove the tip by turning this speed up. I'm at about 15 right now. Now watch me. I'm going to go from one side to the other. I'm right-handed. Left to right. So I'm going to start here. And I'm going to, now in real life, I'm going to town with this. I'm going to turn this up. And I'm going to take that down. Why you ain't got time to be wasting. Get this off. Get that tip off. So once the tip, and then my client says, "Ooh, I don't want you to cut my real nail. I'm trying to grow my real nail out." Look up under here. Don't we need to look up under here and see? We need to make sure that we don't get down to the hyponychium. What if the client has high hyponychiums and you just filing that tip away and then you hit it? You're going to end up like you with no hyponychiums, bleeding. Okay? So, remove as much of the tip as possible. This is a scary bit. You could use something else, but you may have to do a little bit more work, right? So let your E-file do the work for you, okay? Now, hey, Tana Bear. All right. So at State Board, what we're going to do, what we're going to do? We're not going to clip, right? We're going to file for our life. Y'all going to be at State Board going, file for your life in the RuPaul voice. File for your life. Y'all ain't seen this. How old are y'all? Jeez. Come on. RuPaul's Drag Race? Anyway. So we're going to remove the tip, as much of it as possible, and then thin down the nail as much as possible so that we can get this nail off before 20 minutes has passed. Okay? So we're going over here, and I'm going to file for my life. Brace yourself. Hold your elbows into your chest right here, to your side. Hold that client's finger and remove as much as you can. If you've got a brand new file, which you should at State Board, don't bring no old busted files. Look how much I done got off of there. This is why Miss Mary got Popeye arm on one side. Okay? For doing stuff like, because we didn't always have an E-file. Imagine what it was like doing a cut down back in the day. Baby, we finna soak these off. No, we're not doing a cut down. We're not doing a cut down. This is you're going to live with these for a while till they fall off. I'm just joking. So we're going to remove as much as we can. Get down to that client's tip of their finger. Now look how thick this is. Look how thick it is. I don't want to soak that much off. That's going to take too long. Now I'm going to tell you, the nail gods will be with you if you soak this nail and the whole thing just pops off. Because remember, y'all just glue the tip down to there. So don't let them catch you doing this, trying to pry this off. Okay? You're supposed to be soaking this nail off. All right? So, again, now we need to address the top. So let me show you again what I would do in real life. All right? In real life versus state board. In real life, I'm going to take this down all the way just like I just did, and look at how much of my back I'm saving. Hello. Work smarter, not harder. Now look how thick this is here. What I'm going to do in real life is I'm going to take this E-file bit and I'm going to go in the direction away from the client's cuticle to my tip. Never like this. This is too fast and it's a carbide bit. It's too much of a risk for you to cut your client and have that whip around like I did with old girl, right? So I'm going to take my E-file and I'm just going to remove it. Look how it's chipping away at it. You see that? I'm going to remove as much as I can. And because this is pink acrylic, I can see how far down I need to go. I don't want to go down to the client's natural nail bed. Remember, we never touch a natural nail bed with a carbide bit, do we? Never. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to remove as much of this as I possibly can. Okay, just keep going until it gets down to where you can't see as much of this pink. And you'll notice, you'll see it, it'll start to turn back to the natural color. I keep going. And notice that I'm not getting close to the cuticle. I'm not really, see the dent? I don't really care too much about the cuticle. We'll soak that off. I don't want to hurt my client. That's the most important part of this. So, again, real life versus state board. See how I've chipped away at, and it's turning a different color. It's starting to get a little less pink right there. Go a little bit further, you guys can see. Now you see how it's starting to get a little less pink right there? We're getting down to the nail bed. So in this case, now you see where you need to stop filing, right? Stop filing in that area. Just focus on the tip and get this client's acrylic off of that nail so that you can soak it off much quicker. Okay? That's real life. Now, in real life, I told y'all I'm not going to use this. That takes too long. Sis is going to put her hand in this soak-off bowl in real life, okay? But at state board, different story. We don't have an E-file, do we? So what are we going to do at state board? This is thick, so I need to thin this down, all right? Thin it down. Take your E-file, your hand file, and you want to be careful. Try not to hit the sidewalls here. If you tear up this client's sidewalls, then they're going to take points away. Because do you want somebody to file on your sidewalls like that? Ooh, child. So you want to be careful, and we're removing as much as we can. And you want to, don't do this, y'all. Why? If I'm your client, I'm gonna kick you. You got my hands. I'm kicking you right in the leg. Are you crazy? That heat right there. So you want to do it the same way you would on a real person. So we're going to turn this finger. Okay, turn this finger, twist it, move it. I'm protecting the cuticle area. Remember that cuticle area is very important as well. If you file too much, what is going on? Girl. If you file too much of this cuticle, file too much around the cuticle, you're going to scratch that up too, right? So be very careful around that cuticle. Protect the cuticle area. Get as much as you can. Now, I personally, what's going on here? am only going to take it down till I see the change in the color for state board. I want to be very careful. Make sure you got a good acrylic file. You guys do not use a file that has that's an emery board, because some of y'all were using an emery board, those white ones that look like this, but they were not acrylic files. Okay, you want to make sure you have an acrylic file. What kind of grit should you guys have? 220, 240? Uh-huh.
80.
Ooh, on the fingers? 100, 150, 180. Yeah, about that. Now 80 on the fingers? Oh my God. Try it on yours. We're going to try 80 on yours today. That's what we're going to do. She said 80, like with all that confidence. 80 on the feet only, remember? 80 grit on the feet only when we're doing like a scrubbing the bottom of those dry feet. Ooh. All right. Never on the hands. It's just too much of a risk. You might accidentally skirt over the person's sidewalls and shred everything, right? So keep filing, be careful, be very careful around the sidewalls. Now, at state board, you want to file as much as you can because you do not have a lot of time. 20 minutes seems like a lot, but you got to remember, you're going to be sitting here. How many times have you done it, Jasmine?
Like 5.
Jasmine keep timing herself, and see, you got to file it down as much as you can. Do not try to be, leave a lot of acrylic on there and think. We keep practicing this because your timing is everything in this case, okay? Now, remember, when are they going to tell you that you have 10 minutes? At 10 minutes, they're going to say, you have 10 minutes remaining. And after that, there ain't no more warnings. You're not going to know. And remember, you can't wear an Apple Watch. You can't you can't bring a little pocket watch. You can't do nothing. You can't have anything that's your phone, none of that. So at some point, at 10 minutes, you should be pretty well most of that off, okay? Hopefully you have most of it off. Now, if you notice, I've got pretty much all that pink off of there, all right?
And then they take points off if it's too thin. I was told the nail.
If the nail's too thin, what you mean?
Like if the acrylic too thin
On your sculpted nail?
on the removal one.
Well,
Removing it.
Well, what you mean? You want to get it off? Why would it be too thin?
No, I'm saying like once you apply it, I was told like if it's too thin because you don't
Trying not to make it too thick.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. You got to make a sculpted nail that is actually a sculpted nail that someone would wear. So when you say make it too thin, don't make it so thin that if the client actually wore it, they'd break it too. You know what I mean? So I see what you're saying, but you want to also do a sculpted nail that's properly thick, of proper thickness. Remember, it only needs to be as thick as what? A credit card, preferably an Amex Platinum one, right? Metal card. Look at all that acrylic. Look at all that. Now, from one nail, all of that dust filings underneath. Wow. Okay. So at this point, this is when I'm going to, and you're gonna have all this stuff on your table, right? Dust to dust and all that stuff. At this point, this is where I'm going to use my foil. Now, you guys may or may not have one of these. You may just have regular aluminum foil. But me personally, I don't like just that little pad like I told you. So when I make up your kits, I put a little extra piece of cotton in there, like this. You're only doing one nail. And you're going to have a little container of acetone. And remember, acetone, not polish remover. So we're not going to take a huge, big old piece of cotton like that, right? We're going to take a small piece. You guys, I see you guys, y'all be wasting the cotton all day long. You know how much this cotton costs? You're going to take a small piece like this, and we're going to spread it out. Spread it out like this. It makes no sense to have a big old piece of cotton like this on top of this nail, and none of this is touching the nail, does it? It's just wasteful. And it's not doing anything. It's just soaking up all your acetone. Remember, you're going to have a little bottle like this. Hopefully, you're not going to take a big old bottle like that. That's too much of a risk that it'll fall over and you got acetone all in your bag. Just don't do it. Listen to your grandmother now. I'm telling you the truth. All right, so we got this. We're going to put it underneath right here. Now, this is how they want you to do it with this pad. They want you to fold this over and just wrap it around. Half of the acetone is going to drip out of there. Okay? So what I like to do when I've got a regular piece of foil here, I like to take this right here and I'm going to lay it on the nail, kind of envelop the nail there, and we're going to put it on the client's finger. Okay? You can put it on the cotton ball first, but I don't want to waste none of my acetone. Now I'm going to take this. This is the way I like to do it. We're going to take this, move this up a little bit. I like to fold it from the top first. Okay? Fold it from the top first, and then fold it over, and then fold it over. The reason I like to do it that way is because I don't want the acetone to spill out of the top. Okay? I want this to be like a gift. So now, because now what we're going to do is, remember, heat makes it work faster, right? You finna sit here and don't keep checking it, y'all. You know when you're trying to boil some hot water on the stove, you keep going and looking to see if it's boiling. Just wait 5 minutes. I promise you it's going to boil. If you keep opening this up, you're taking the heat away. You're scraping a little bit, scraping a little bit, scraping a little bit. Check it like every 2 minutes. Give it some heat, and we're going to sit here and we're going to watch everybody else scramble over there at State Board going, oh, it's not coming off. I can't get it off because your teacher gave them MMA, or they went and bought some MMA and they went to State Board with it. Remember, this is odorless acrylic, y'all. You got to have odorless monomer. All right, so we're going to sit here and we're just going to wait. Now, when we scrape this off, you guys are going to have a orange wood stick or a cuticle pusher, whatever you choose. If you go with my kid, it's going to be just orange wood stick so you can throw it away at the end. So what I have here is a remover tool. I really love this. I got like 60 of these coming. I love this tool. This is optional, right? But look at the way it's shaped. It's basically a scraper. Okay, so you're going to be able to scrape this off. You could take this to State Board if you wanted to. You could replace this with, but just make sure you remember, where does it go? To be disinfected bag, right? Does not go into the trash. So, welcome everyone. So, this also has a little pusher on the end. Okay, so you could use either one. I love this tool, and again, you guys can, order you one. And today it's going to be 25% off. They're only $9 today if you guys want to get one or order one. I'll give you guys the coupon code. The people in our class are going to get that coupon code. You should have it in your email. But this is a really handy tool to have. Again, State Board versus real life. I love this thing. All right, so now when you go to check this, I put a bunch of these in your kits when you go to State Board, because some of y'all like to rip it off and throw it away and do a new one. I'm not doing that. Okay, what I want to do is I want to open this up, take a peek. I'm gonna pull this away. Now look how that looks. Can you guys see that? How it's gotten a little. It's gotten a little like bubbled up. Now watch this. See how that comes off? Very easy. Scrapes off very easy. Now, you can, instead of just scraping, putting it back on, scraping, what else could we do? We could take our file and roll some of this off. This is going to be a little bit easier and help you at State Board and in real life. You can take a fine file and kind of buff it off. Help move it off the nail plate. Okay? But remember, what did I tell you guys? We're not trying to save this nail. We need it all the way off. Okay? So now I'm going to go back in. So I've waited. I'm going to put a little bit more acetone, just a little bit more, on this finger. When you're doing this on clients, like their toenails, when they've got gel on their toes, or God forbid, acrylic on their toes. God forbid. Oh, Lord. That's the same way you're gonna do it. What'd you say, Jasmine?
If somebody asked me, will I be doing that?
And what did you say?
I said, no, darling.
No, darling, I will not be performing acrylic on the toes, my dear. It's no, darling.
She said, why? And I explained, and she said, oh my God. So,
Yeah, I saw someone tagged me in a video, and she was the acrylic toenail queen or something like this, what she called herself. And someone tagged me in the video, and when she soaked the toenails off,
they were green.
literally, she had, I don't know what kind of stuff growing up underneath her toenails, but that wasn't even the worst part. When she went to clean out from under it, there was no sidewall.
I see that.
The nail was completely detached from the nail plate on one of the sides, and I was like, so we're just going to ignore the fact that this lady has no sidewall and that she's suffering from onycholiasis due to these acrylic toenails. I said it I was like, I can't. Y'all stop tagging me in this stuff. It's really disturbing to me.
It was green underneath.
It was this yellowish green stuff underneath her. Oh, but it's like when my mom used to say, you could put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, right?
Yeah.
So you can put all this pretty stuff on your toenails and make it look good, but can we address the problem? Can we address the fact that you don't have any sidewalls and that your toenails look like they about to fall off? And at the end of the day, if you kick somebody or kick something hard enough, guess what? It is going to fall off. It's going to literally just lift off the nail plate and there'll be nothing there. I was like, wow, this is what we doing. Okay, all for beauty. But you also got those women that are bald headed under their lace fronts because they glue their put all the glue all over their hairline and wonder why and can't go nowhere without their wig, honey, because they ain't got no hair. But I digress. Okay, so we're gonna hold this heat. Keep holding it. I know. 20 minutes. It seems like it's you're worried. You're worried that you're not gonna get it off. I know you are. You'll be fine. You're gonna get it off. I promise you. You're gonna get it off. You opening that salon is dependent upon if you pass this state board. You're gonna get it off. Okay. Someone said, I feel bad. Not all girls have pretty toes and want to look. Yeah. Is it worth it to you? Is it worth it to you for your client to have pretty toes? Again, acrylic is not, it's not that you're putting something on the toenail. It's what you're putting on the toenail. So your client can still have pretty toes. What are we going to build on top of that toenail instead? Gel. It's not about acrylic being, them having something on their toes. They can absolutely have something on their toes, just not acrylic. And here's the thing. Even with gel, are we going to be putting a free edge that's this long on the client's toenail? Do they need a French tip on a toenail? And better yet, on all 10 toenails? That's a little, if you walk around in sandals all day, that's cool, I guess. But what about that day that you put on those heels and baby, last Sunday I've had these heels for about 12 years. I love them. These pretty gold heels with red bottoms on. They weren't red bottoms though. And I'm only telling y'all this because I'm waiting for this to soak. And I was standing in church the other day and my toe busted outside them shoes. I was like, we got to go home. We can't go nowhere after church. My toe done busted outside. So what if I had acrylic toes on?
Ooh, that would have hurt.
Baby, that's why people's toenails have no sidewall, because they're bumping up against those shoes all day. So even if you're going to put gel on the toes, you absolutely should not have a free edge on your toenail. You should not. It's not necessary. It's unhealthy for your feet.
My son said, why do people want their toenails so long anyway?
Exactly. What you doing with them? It's not necessary. So again, I don't have a problem with you ladies that are out here putting, stuff on people's toes. Just let it not be acrylic. And let's please not glue tips to people's toes. All 10. That's ridiculous and unhealthy. I'm going to just tell you from my point of view as an instructor and as somebody who is an A&T, advanced nail tech, who has to fix these toes and send people to the podiatrist to have their ingrowns cut out and lasered off, and they end up with no toenails at all. So, you know, I have a client that's coming tomorrow that will be putting a prosthetic toe on. I don't know if I did it before. You guys haven't seen her yet? Yeah, okay. So she's the one that's in my infamous video that got removed from TikTok, that's still on Instagram and Facebook, where she kicked the wall. Someone put an acrylic toe. She accidentally bumped her foot on the wall and lost her entire toenail and had to do like you. Imagine having to walk with your toe like that and couldn't get it off. She was just in so much pain. So now she has to, until it grows out, she is getting prosthetic toenails put on with what? Gel. We're building it with gel so that she has flexibility in that toe, in that toenail while it's growing out. Acrylic would just make it worse because that is pushing up. It's too rigid. It doesn't bend. All right, so now I'm going to continue to remove this, and I've been holding it long enough. It should come right off. So now when I open this up, we're gonna pull this away, and look how much it's literally fluffed up into. Let's see. Let me come in some back up. There we go. This way. Now you guys can see it. You see it? So now I can pull this off. It's down to the. Look at that. Be patient, you guys. Especially at State Board, Jasmine. Don't fret, my dear. You will get it off. Okay? Be patient and let it sit for a minute. This is why I like to do, when I'm doing a real person, I like to have one hand soaking while I'm filing off and removing as much of the acrylic as I possibly can. And then alternate. Once you've done that, this been soaking long enough in this bowl that now you can scrape off and remove whatever's been soaking, and the other one's soaking. So, because time is money. All right? So now I look at this finger and I'm like, oh Lord, this is all the way off. We want it. Do y'all see any of that plastic tip on there from when we glued those on for our State Board? No, it needs to be down as much as possible. Now remember, it's okay if you leave a little bit of acrylic on there, because you guys, if you're doing real clients' nails and you're going to be putting acrylic right back on someone's nail, don't try to remove every single little piece of acrylic. You're going to damage that client's nail plate. You're about to put something right back on it, right? Now, if they're removing completely and they want nothing on their nails, then yeah, you can soak it until everything's gone, all right? But it's not necessary. Look how that just came off, okay? Now, you're going to want to buff. See how I'm getting all into that cuticle area? Go ahead and get all that out. And you'll be able to do this with an orange wood stick, because say this was an orange wood stick. Just going in there and removing all of this plastic off of her nail, okay? Now, you're not going to leave it like that. You're going to buff this nail, okay? Lord knows I don't think I even have a buffer. I'm going to say, did you hear me? You know I don't have a buffer over here. I got to reorganize my stuff. No, I do have a buffer. Here's one. All right. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to buff this nail until it's smooth. Okay. Buff it until it's smooth. And then at State Board, this is all you're going to need to do. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this acetone soaked cotton ball to get this off of here. Okay. And that's it. That's enough for State Board. That's a removal. Okay. Just be patient and remove as much of the acrylic as you possibly can. Okay. Then soak. Now, I want to show you guys on a real human how this is going to be done. Okay. So, honey, will you move this view for me so that my little student here can come and get her nails soaked off? I'm going to show you guys how it's done on a human. Okay. I don't need this anymore. I don't know if we can move that. Do you guys on the Zoom have any questions while we're getting set up for this demonstration? Because I'm going to use the soak-off bowl that you guys are going to be getting. Any questions? Make sure my volume's turned up. Yep. Okay, move this, just move it to the side. I can control it from here. And then get, oops. Can you adjust your camera so we can see what your hands are doing? No, I can't. I'm sorry. That is going to cost you. I can't. We are actually giving a class that people are paying for right now. Sorry. All right, come on up here, Miss Jalen. You can watch. The link is in the bio. Okay. Good morning, everyone. So let me adjust my view here. Do here and back this up a bit.
Rhinestones on my nails.
You got rhinestones on your nails. Well, guess what? I know how to remove them. Can you believe that? And guess what? When you sit down when your client sits down in your chair, guess what she's gonna have? Rhinestones on her nails. So guess what you need to do? You need to know how to take them off, right? I'm about to show you. This is why we have real people in here to do these demonstrations. All right. So I've got warm water in this bowl, and it's still, you can feel the heat in the bowl. It's still a little warm, right? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take, first of all, you guys can see. First, let me see your other hand here. Poor Jalen. Look. So she's still got a little bit of acrylic left on this nail. Let me zoom in a bit so you guys can see. Okay. So she's still got a little bit of acrylic left on this nail here. And this is the one she injured. So I'm going to, does it hurt still? Okay. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly. Under here, this lifted up. Look how far it goes all the way back.
Not too much.
She said not too much. It hurt a little bit.
It don't hurt a little bit. It's just...
This is lifted all the way back to here.
Whoa.
All the way back to here. I can push this all the way back. And that's what happens when your nail is pulled in the opposite direction. And just so everyone knows who doesn't know, she had on some really long, very beautiful, very nice extendo nails for about 3 days, and then they got rolled over and snatched off her finger. And then she had to not wear no nails since then. And she cut these down. So this is what we have. I'm going to let you have that hand back. So this is what we have here, okay? So when a client comes to you and maybe they've already popped off their nails and removed their nails, I want to show you guys a demonstration of why you need to remove, because right now this is colored acrylic. This wasn't polished, right? But she did have gel top coat on top of her nail and a bunch of glue and a bunch of rhinestones. So I'm going to keep one of these nails just the way it is without filing it or etching anything off of it, okay, and put it in this bowl. And the rest of them we're going to remove the right way, okay, so you guys can see. And then maybe we'll do the soak off method with the foil, so you guys can see how it's different with every type of removal, okay? So I'm going to, because this is real life, I'm going to, on one of these fingers anyway, I'm going to remove as much of this acrylic as I possibly can, okay? So you're going to want to have like a towel underneath or some type of vacuum or Valentino or something to soak up all your dust. Me personally, I'd rather just let it fall down to the table, wear a mask, and just throw the dust in the outside and flap it in the air, whatever. But what we're going to do here is we're going to have this e-file going at a high rate of speed. And notice that I'm going in a downward motion. You can see it over there, can't you? Let me put it. I know Jalen wants to see what's going on. Let me pin this so you can see. Boop. Right there. Now you can see. So we're going to remove,
That's pretty cool, huh?
as much of this as possible, and be very careful. Notice that I am pulling the skin away, and I'm doing very small, just up and down to chip away at this acrylic. I don't want to just leave it on her nail like this. That's going to cause heat, okay? So be very careful. This is a very short nail. But what if this client had really long nails on you and hadn't cut them already? What would I do? To shorten it, right, with my e-file, holding it at a 90-degree angle, like so. Being very careful not to touch her skin, okay? So now I'm just gonna keep chipping away, chip away, remove as much of this acrylic as possible. One thing I can say, Jalen might be a new nail tech, but she ain't got no problem with her nails staying on. Cause baby, these things are still on here. Okay, be very careful not to touch the cuticle area. We got a soak off bowl. Yes, you're gonna get one. I'm gonna get one. Okay. Remove as much as possible. Now you could go up on the speed a little bit if you felt comfortable. And you guys, again, you're new at this, so you may not want to use a 2X course. You might want to use a 1X course, or maybe even just a course bit. So make sure it's a safety bit. By all means, make sure it's a safety bit. Okay. So I'm going to remove as much as possible. For me, this is still not enough. I want to get a little bit more because remember, time is money in the salon.
This hand might be a little thick because I did use my left.
It's all right. This is your non-dominant hand, isn't it? Yep. It's all right. But see how I've gotten down? You can tell where her natural nail is. I can see it through and then look at the thickness. I don't want to go too much thinner. And I definitely see, y'all know this is what they would do at the NSS salon. Y'all tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. They're gonna go like this. They're gonna they're gonna get one of these tips right here. And they're gonna go do like this, aren't they? And get under there and ring until it comes off, right? No, we don't do that. So now that's enough for me. Now what about this one here with all these stones on it? Do I want to destroy my e-file bit? Remember I said those carbide bits, they get a little expensive, and these stones will ruin your carbides. So unless you have one that's kind of already ruined, because I have a few that I like to chip away stones with, what are we going to use to pluck them off? Nippers. Now, please don't use your good nippers that you use that are sharp and brand new that you use to cut away hangnails or remove actual cuticle off the nail plate with. Because as soon as you clip it with a good nipper or use a good nipper, they're going to be dull and they're going to have a dent in them. For example, let me see. I'm sure I have several cuticle nippers that I try to keep them for you guys to use, but cuticle nippers that are no longer sharp. Let me show you what I mean. It's a perfect example. This one is used for nipping away. Look at this. You see how that is not going to be good to cut anything. Okay, so you want to have you an old pair like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, I would be wearing safety goggles, or even my client, more importantly, my client, right? But I like to, when I'm going to squeeze them, I like to hold here so that if it pops off, it doesn't pop in my eye or pop in my client. So I'm going to take it and squeeze. I don't know what, you must have been using my resin. You must have used my resin. Look, these ain't even no good. I don't know why I got those. Throw them away. I got another pair. Look, here go another pair that ain't no good. Look at those. How many stones you think those got plucked off with? Once they're not dull anymore, once sharp anymore, just use them to remove stones. Okay. I'm gonna try to get as much of that off as possible. Beware of flying stone. Okay. All right, so now we got that off. So now I'm going to do a little bit more. Take a little bit more off. All right, so I'm going to turn that up. Y'all see this nail? She said it was a little thick. What y'all think? They were long, though. Hold on. They were really long. So that apex needed to be a little thick, didn't it? probably not quite that thick,
Yeah.
but thicker. So when you cut these down, remember, what if the client goes from them extra long nails to something short? It ain't just a normal cut down, is it? No, ma'am. So here we go. I'm gonna remove, huh? Right. Price is still gonna be the same. It's a lot of work. I'm just chipping away at this. I'm gonna turn it up a bit because I want a little more power. Remove, remove, remove. Be careful around this cuticle. Now, if the client has a lot of lifting, like right here, this is kind of lifted up on just a little bit on the side. Don't worry about trying to get that off so much because it's going to just melt off because the acetone can get under it rather than working from the top. It's working from the bottom and the top, okay? So don't worry about that so much, but just get this thinned down so you don't have to sit there for long. Now, I'm going to leave this on here because I want to show you guys why you want to thin it down as much as possible. I'm going to leave that on there. Let that one sit. So we're going to take this one, go ahead and thin that one down. Can you feel the pressure I'm putting on your finger to hold it?
Yeah.
When you're working with a device or a tool that is as strong as this and as dangerous as this could be, you want to hold on to that client's finger, okay?
What RPM are you using the file?
Right now I'm at 13 RPMs, which is how many thousand? What's RPMs, y'all? What does that mean? Rotations per minute. So how many am I going 13 times per minute in a circle? 13,000. Very good. And I could go up a bit if I really wanted to. But remember, this E-file goes up to 35K. So where do we usually use our E-file bit? Our E-file, what speed? What should, around the middle, right? Just like our car, we never really push it too hard. So you should have a more powerful E-file so that you can go at a higher speed and not ruin the file. Imagine if I was using a 20K bit and I needed to go up to 13. That's like going 95 and my car only goes to 150. That's going to push it a lot. That's not in the middle, right? So that's why having a more powerful E-file is advisable. Remember, I'm not going from side to side, cuticle to tip. Okay? And this was colored acrylic, y'all, that she had on top of here.
It was glitz and glam.
It was glitz and glam. Tell us about your glitz and glam experience this
Okay.
weekend.
So I tried sculpting. Okay, first of all, I went to Mr. Johnny and I got me some sculpting, the pink ones.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I went and got those. And I was telling my mama, you know, we gonna try these sculpting nails. She said, okay. I tried with the glitz and glam. It was spreading everywhere. Then it didn't want to sit. And then I was just like, okay. And so it was just lumpy. And I was like, I ain't do this in school.
It didn't happen like that in school, did it? It was nice and
It was
smooth.
nice and smooth. And now I had to worry about it going everywhere. I could control it. It was a lot.
So it's glam and glitz is not the move. Huh? It has its uses, right? All right, so this one, I'm going to leave it because I want to show you guys what happens when you don't remove the top coat. Because you had top coat on here, right? Versus, and when do I want to remove top coat in particular? Like with gel polish, right? You can't just I know it's thin. You're like, oh, I can just put it in the acetone. It's going to come off quick. No, it's not. Not if you don't remove the top coat, right? So this is her thumb. This one is a much bigger nail. Now I've kicked it up to 16. I can do that, can't I? Why? It's not going to kill my E-file, is it? Why?
Because it's 35.
Because I got power behind that torque behind my E-file, right? But again, I'm doing a cut down, and 16 is about as high as I'll ever need to go, isn't it? But that power behind it is what's so important. So remember when you're buying your E-file, hopefully you buy mine, why you need to have a 30K or above and not a 10K or 15K. If I was using a 20K drill, I'd be pushing this one to the max right now. It'd be hollering and screaming. Heating up. Handle would be getting hot. Because remember, the motor is here. The micro motor is in the handle, not the box. Okay. Now, on this finger, I'm going to put the acetone soaked cotton ball. But I'm still, remember, just like State Board, I'm going to thin this out. I don't have to use an E-file, do I? I can use a hand file, so let's try that. Let's remove as much of this as possible. Look how I am protecting her finger. Just like I would with that mannequin hand. Protect that finger. I don't want my client, and look how I'm pushing her skin back here. You see how I'm pushing that back? I want to protect, and I'm going at a different angle. I'm going down, up and down, down and to the side rather than this way, because I don't want to, like a rug burn. What if I push it this way? It would hurt. So I'm going to protect her finger and go down. You'll see nail techs put this stuff around their fingers, this like almost like a bandage when they file, because they file their own fingers a lot. Those type of nail techs, I know they care about their clients, because they're really trying to protect by holding their client's finger here and not cut the client, but they end up cutting themselves. I would rather cut me than cut you. Okay?
My nails be getting thin because, like, the way I be filing sometimes, I file, like, my nails instead of, like, my client's fingers.
Right.
It be hurting.
That's why you want to learn how to hold it the right way. Okay? So now I've thinned that down quite a bit with the hand file. Notice that I'm going up and down, up and off, and up and off, so I'm not causing the heat. My favorite beat. It's my favorite beat. It's my favorite beat. All right. Make a little song, sing a little song in your head. Okay. So we remove that as much as I want to. So we're going to soak off these three. I left this one a little thick so you guys can see how this is going to work. This one I thinned down a bit, thinned that one way down, and we're going to leave that one alone. Okay, I'm going to put the cotton soaked aluminum foil on this one. Okay, let's get that off the table here. All right. Someone said, just a suggestion, but if you adjust your camera, we could see what you're doing. You're so smart. You're very, 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 very smart. I didn't even think of that. Thank you for your suggestion. She said it so nicely, too. So sweet. You see what I'm doing here? I'm just soaking that pad, soaking that up. Now I'm going to fold it forward and over. Okay. And oops, ooh, we had a gusher there. We had a little gusher there. All right, so that's on there. Now I'm gonna take my bowl here, and before I haven't put any acetone in there yet. So you're good. So I'm gonna pour it into the little holes here, and it does not have to be full. Okay, I've got my hot water in there. And it's kind of lukewarm now. I'm not even gonna put it in that thumb one. So now we're gonna go in there, and she's gonna just chill for a minute, okay? We're just gonna hang out in the bowl for a minute.
You want to go to a commercial? No.
You put us on commercial, okay?
It's a commercial now.
Commercial. This is commercial break. Ask, LOL, they gotta pay what they weigh. Hey, I know that's right. Get that outside on gas. It's on them, all them stones. So while we're sitting here waiting, do you guys have any questions about anything in particular?
It feels so weird.
It feels weird.
Nail.
It's right. I can't wait to pull it out so you can see that nothing's going to happen to this nail. Like, it's just going to sit there. So for those that have gone to the nail salon and this was like, don't, you got to etch this nail. And again, time is money. So if this one was soaking, I'd be over here removing the rest of some of this acrylic that she's got on here Oh Lord, commercial break. Y'all know he gonna do it. Commercial break. Commercial break. So let me take one that's a little bit softer. This is one of my e-file bits right here. I'm gonna use this one just to kind of remove a little bit more of some of this that you have on your nail while that one's soaking, so you guys can see what I would do. So here, this is kind of chipped off a bit. You can see
It's not on the thing.
this one's the only one that hurts, right?
It's not on the thing.
Oh, it's not. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Keep me straight. Y'all see how she got a little bit of acrylic left on this one? This is why having these bits that are more precise will help you. See how this one is more pointed? And it's a safety bit. So I can kind of go just where I need to go. And I wouldn't even really do this in real life. I'd just soak this off. It would be soaking. But since you guys are on, we're waiting on this one, I'm just going to show you guys what I would do just to get it off. Okay. Got my little duster brush here so I can see what's going on. Because I wouldn't even want to, some of y'all would just peel that off, right? And away goes the nail plate. Bye, nail plate. You want to keep those nails nice and healthy. Look at my nails. Look how, that's what you want. And this little thumb right here. See, that's all kind of lifted a little bit. Now I can remove just what I see here without touching your nail plate with this carbide. See? Just give you something to do while you're waiting. Okay? So, we had a little discussion on TikTok the other night about the ball bit. You know what I'm talking about. Right. So, I was on my way back from Atlanta, and I was trying to kill some time, and I said, let me reply to some of these comments, because I never really, it wasn't even it was me on someone's video, and her video kind of went viral, and people were like, it was like 1,000 comments on there about the ball bit. And it was hilarious to me, the comments, and I just want to know you guys' opinion on it. So a lot of them were saying, it's not meant for the nail plate. It's meant for the cuticle. What'd you say? Say that one more time. Say it loud enough for the people in the back.
The cuticle is on the nail plate.
Hello. The cuticle is on the nail plate. So I was going through the comments, and that was every single comment was, well, the ball bit is for the cuticle, not the nail plate. I'm like, everybody is confused about what the cuticle is. Everybody. And a lot of these were nail technicians with licenses. With whole licenses.
Must be an apprenticeship.
Yep, that part.
Could have been. Or they just didn't come to this school.
Yeah.
But it just kind of really, it was a little annoying to me that so many people were, because at the end of the day, you know what I wanted to say. Hello. How y'all know me so well? I wanted to say, argue with your mama, because you don't even know what you're talking about. Make it make sense. If it's for the cuticle, where is the cuticle? So I guess you think the cuticle is that hard skin back there. I couldn't even get myself together. He finally said, just stop. Just stop. Because it was every comment. And I just was like, okay. I was trying to do it. Okay, so we done pulled this out. Y'all take a look. This is the one. And this is what I usually do. I usually have them keep them in there, and we pull one out at a time so the other ones can soak. Or, why waste time, right? Mm-hmm. So now I've got this one here. I can just scrape this off. Look how easy that comes off, right? I like this little scraper tool, right?
You sign your name on your box.
Oh, Lord. So now you've got this. Most of this is off. We still got a little bit left.
That's how much this pinky is.
Come for everything.
How many y'all work in your home
Top
this
two.
week?
I do everybody first.
See how that came off? Nice and smooth. We still got more on there though. And how do I know when there's still acrylic on the nail? Sometimes you can't see it. Sometimes it's not that apparent because you got almost all of it off. But how would you know that there's still acrylic on the nail?
It's like real matte right
It'll be shiny right there. So put that back in there and watch this. All right, so when I pull this out, you see? You see? It'll still have that little shine. So now you can see there's still acrylic on that nail. It'll shine because the nail, when it's bare, you're gonna see when we get this off. It's gonna, as soon as it hits the air, and it's gonna turn white because it's bare. There's no acrylic there. All right. So this one, let's pull this one out. See what she doing. Ooh, she is nice and fluffy. Look like a little marshmallow. Look at there. But look, where I didn't file that pink off, that's where the gel polish was. Look, it's still on there. It's kind of not wanting to go nowhere, right? But look, this is why we want to remove as much as possible, because all we did was kind of, it soaked through a little layer, but it's still more. Okay, so you can take your hand file and see me. I ain't hand filing nothing nowadays. I'm too old for that. I ain't doing all that. I'm going to take my e-file and try to remove a little bit more. But again, I'm going to remove as much as I can in the beginning. Turn this up. Now remember, this is a safety bit. So I can go in and I can chip away all that without having to scrape it. But if I had removed more of this in the beginning, I wouldn't have to worry about it, would I? All right, so put that one back in. Let's come on out with this one. Look at that one. Let's zoom a little bit so you guys can see. How do I know this is EMA and not MMA?
It's flaking off.
And what are you seeing about my e-file bit?
Oh, it's not getting.
It's not getting stuck all in my bit. If you got MMA, it's gonna look like a booger wrapped around your e-file, your bit. A legit booger. I said it. You see how I just flaked off? And my bit is not covered in acrylic, jellified acrylic. And why does it do that? You ever thought about that? Why does it do that? Leave that one in there. I got an effect I want to show you guys. Why does it gum up like that? Well, first of all, it's just absorbing the acetone. It's not removing it, it's absorbing it. So when you get ready to file it and remove it, it's only coming off because you're filing it, not because it's just falling off, okay? Because remember, MMA is not supposed to come off. Now watch this one. Let's take this one out, y'all. Look at her. She still look like brand new. Like the only thing, look. I can't even scrape it with my fingernail. Look, this side was already kind of peeled off. But what about the stones? They ain't even moved. Look at them. They will not come off. And it's been soaking just as long as that. Because those stones were surrounded by, you put some top coat around them. Resin. Yeah, but you top coated the nail. And then you put the stones on. So the stones are sitting on top of top coat. They ain't going nowhere. So this nail will sit here and it will not soak off unless you remove that top. Stone on there, baby. Oh, this is the bad one. I thought I threw that one in the garbage. Oh, no, it's not the bad one. There we go. So let's put that back in there and see what she's doing. Now let's come back around. There's the little baby nail. Y'all see how she's still flaked up? That still it didn't look like there was any on there. Let's see. We might pretty much gone. How are we gonna know?
So you better get them done now, ain't
Huh?
you? So she better get them done now, ain't
No,
I got two clients today coming in. Is it gone? How do we know?
not sure.
Well, let's
Back
see.
in
Let's go back in there. Let's go back in there. All right, now look at that. There's still some on there, isn't it? Look, right there. Still a little bit on there. Now you want to be careful scraping because you'll scrape off parts of the nail plate as well. Go back in there. Let's see this one. Ooh, still on there. Thick. Too much work. So now you see the importance of trying to get as much of it off as possible before you go into the acetone. I have. A lot told me the same thing. I stay arguing with them. Yes, stay arguing with folks about that cuticle. You can't tell them nothing. It's not for the nail plate. It's for the cuticle. So let's be clear. That is a jewelry bit, and it's meant for digging holes in nails. Okay? That is what it's meant for.
you? So what drill is that?
This is my e-file. And you get it for free if you sign up for the e-file certification class. Okay. Are you afraid of this drill bit?
No,
You're not? Why not?
because it's not. Because the nail tech.
Oh, because the nail tech. Hey, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. What else?
It's not like, it doesn't feel like it's
Look at the tip of it.
safety.
It's a safety bit. So you shouldn't be afraid to use it either. Okay? She said the nail tech that's doing it because of the nail tech. Put that one back in there. Let me see this one. You see the little shiny spot? And it fluffed up again. So that lets me know there's still acrylic on there. A lot of you are like, well, how do I know when to stop? Well, first of all, stop when you see the natural nail peeking through. But at this point, you can just kind of brush it off the nail. It will just, every time you put it in there. Now let's look at this next one. See there? You can see it. This is EMA, not MMA. That's how we know. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Okay. Jalen got me. All right, let's take a peek at this one. Look. Still top coat. Still haven't gotten through the top coat. So that's why it's so important. So now let's take a look at this thumb. See what's going on. The one that we had the foil on. Let's back up some. Okay. Open her up. Take a look. Because we waited, gave it some time, it soaked through, and she had heat on her nail here to help get this off. We didn't take it all the way down. So which one do you think is faster, y'all? In the bowl. The e-file, and then using the e-file rather than hand filing it, right? So again, what we do in real life versus what we do at State Board. Now, if we're putting gel on the toes, this shouldn't take no time to come off, should it? Look, nothing on that. Everything's gone. There ain't nothing on that nail plate. It's completely clean. And it's healthy. The nail is not destroyed. So now I can take my buffer and just buff this nail and clean it off. Because when you go into the acetone, it makes it a little gross, right? Now look at that. Look at her cuticles. Let's go on and address those cuticles real quick.
Thank you.
She said, thank you. Thank you. Y'all see it? Cuticle is on the nail plate. Okay, so here, let's zoom in because I want y'all to see this. I love showing this.
Working the iPad? What?
You better leave me alone. Leave me alone, sir. Look. Look at that. This around here, see it? That is PNF. That, what's that, y'all?
Cuticle.
That is cuticle. And where is it?
On the nail.
On the nail plate. Hello. It is not on the skin around the nail plate. I love showing y'all this. You usually can see it when you just take some nails off.
Her Zoom class is in her bio.
Yes, it's in the link in my bio. Thank you. So y'all see that? So when you're using cuticle nippers, that's what you're supposed to be cutting if you need to cut it. But if we did a manicure on her, we could remove that very easily. It would just push away. So now do you guys see what this right here is just dry skin, and we just came out of the acetone, for God's sake. So just give it a second. But now you can see that I love this zoom view. Look at that. So when I push back her the PNF, so when people say you're pushing back the cuticle, you're pushing the cuticle off the nail plate. You're pushing back the PNF. Okay? So now y'all see, that's cuticle. You can see it real good. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell
you
you.
have to join the Zoom. Yeah, the link is in the bio.
I know you can't see, darling.
They
This
said,
with nail school. You got to pay for nail school. Okay? So, y'all in the Zoom, y'all see it? So this right here, this part right here, let me get this off of there. This part right here is all living tissue and is not to be cut. This is cuticle. Let me show y'all what I would do with this, with an E-file. Okay?
you don't cut the cuticle cuts. You're cutting the PNF.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm taking this little bit here. This is a cuticle bit. Okay? I'm going to turn
this
this.
is learning plus entertainment.
All right. So we're at literally like a 1 or a 2 on my E-file. Now watch this. This is why I like to do a dry manicure. Okay? I'm going to take my bit.
What bit is that?
It's a cuticle bit.
Okay.
Y'all see that? Cuticle gone. Cuticle gone. See it? Gone. And does that hurt?
No. Not at all.
Now watch this. See all that? You see the cuticle? You see the PNF. Y'all see it? Naja, you see it? Yep, she see it. Only in my dreams. There you go. Cuticle, PNF. Watch this. Pull the skin back. That is cuticle. Wipe it away so you can see what you're working with here. Now we got a nice healthy nail here. Nothing has been cut. All we've done is remove the cuticle off the nail plate. And that, my dear, is the difference between the two. Okay? Now I could, if I look at this really closely, now you can see there's a little bit of cuticle there. But if I push this all the way back to my chest, what am I going to be exposing? Which part? What did the cuticle used to be before it crawled out and died? The eponychium. And the eponychium is alive. So I don't want to push this all the way back to the client's chest and expose live eponychium tissue. I just want to get the dry cuticle that's on the nail plate. Okay? So now can you see? When you get to see it, seeing is believing. Okay? Seeing is believing. And you get this in nail school, not on TikTok. Y'all got to come to nail school, and we doing nail school right now. Y'all see it? Look at my people on Zoom. There you go. Y'all see it. Yes. Okay? Now here, just to get the rest of this off. So you guys understand what we're doing when it comes to soaking off at state board versus real life. Does that make more sense to you? Which one are you guys going to do?
The state board.
With the bowl. And then when you do it on toes, use the foils. If you are, because it's no need for you to do it with the E-file. Remember, by the time you scrape off that first layer of shine off of gel polish, you should wrap these around every one of them little toes. By the time you've wrapped the first foot and gotten done with the second foot, the first foot's ready to come off. It's ready to come off. Stop E-filing on people's toes if you do not have to. If you do not have to do it, don't do it. So now, Naja, when your mom comes back, hopefully she won't have any gel on her toes. But the next time she has gel on her toes, you know how to do it.
We had a conversation.
Y'all had a conversation?
She's gonna get gel top coat, and that's it.
Oh, well, that's going to be interesting. How do you think that's going to work? Let's talk about that real quick. I'm glad you mentioned that.
The process between dry and regular lacquer, and then
But let's talk about this with the knowledge that you have. How long does it take for regular polish to cure?
24 hours.
So do you think it's a good idea to put gel polish on top of regular lacquer?
No, because
Why?
It'll be wet and it can cause moisture.
It will be wet under there. And what will happen is, have y'all ever seen your gel polish crack? Like the top coat, like especially if you wear like white or whatever. And, or because that gel polish was not dry or cured all the way through. I wouldn't suggest that, because what's going to happen is she's going to have a mushy mess underneath it's like, think about it like this. It's going to be like walking on pillows with glass on top of them. Imagine if we lined this floor with pillows and then put a sheet of glass on top and walked on it with heels. What would happen? Going straight through it. It's going to crack. So putting regular polish underneath, that's not, now if she did it the next day, that might work. But with the knowledge that you guys have, is that advisable? No. Your client's going to come back and say, why are my polish all crackly and stuff? Because we put glass on top of pillows and then walked on them. I know y'all love how I explain stuff. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Okay. So this one's done. This one's gone. All the way gone.
where do you get that implement?
What? Where you been? Y'all tell her where we got it.
At Mary LeBron.
School of Nails right here. I bought 50 of them for y'all this weekend. She must miss that part when she was taking her little morning siesta. They love you on TikTok.
I'm about to quit this job.
Y'all look, but y'all know Naja taking her morning nap. We don't bother her no more. We just let her take a nap. I know she worked hard, but she said, where does she get it, y'all? The folks on TikTok like, she just told you can buy one from her. She got them at the store. It's all right. I ain't messing with you. I'm gonna let you take your nap. I'm gonna let you. She taking her little morning nap. She got it. She already had this soak off. Didn't you have the soak off class last time? Yeah, she had the class, so I ain't tripping. This is more for the newer folks and the folks that just want to watch it again. Soak offs aren't a bad deal if that's all you got to do. But look at this one. This one still ain't went nowhere. Still, because we didn't remove the top coat. They said a teacher that allows you to nap, my God, look, like I told y'all before. She paying for these naps. They very expensive naps. Very expensive naps. She want a nap, she can nap. She paid her weekly payment, she can take her nap. This ain't public school. It's private school. I ain't messing with Naja if she want to take a nap. I woke her up one time.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it ain't in there. She all right. She know how to do this already. No, the monsters are bad for you. You too young. Leave. You don't want to mess up your heart.
I'll be fine.
She said, "I'll be
My
fine."
head, my body are falling apart.
No, it's not.
Hello, can people
I got
follow
bad
your-
knees, I got bad ankles, bad wrists.
The only way, yeah, you just need to transfer your hours if you have hours. That's the only way you could do it out of state. If you already have hours.
Very good. I love my little helpers over here. But so y'all see why you want to remove as much as possible. Everybody understand that? Because even this one we didn't remove a lot. We removed a lot of it, but not most of it, and it was pretty bulky. This one we didn't remove anything. Now let's take a look at the one that we've been soaking. All right. And so you can't tell young people nothing. This is true. But I'm going to tell you, you can't tell some old people can't tell me nothing either. I got a lot of life experience though. So see how this is coming off now? It's still on there. Still on there. That's why you want to remove as much as possible, Jasmine. Keep moving. And when you get in the state board, do not be afraid. Because remember, it's not even a human hand. File that thing down to that nail plate, that little fake nail if you need to. Don't risk it. Don't risk it at state board. You don't want your time to run out. You do not want your time to run out.
She said 10 minutes. I'm starting hyperventilating.
No. You bet not hyperventilate at state board. Not with my students, better not. You're going to be fine. We're going to do our practice run. We're pretty much done with all the chapters now. I just want to get that gel one done, and then we're going to do our state board practice run. Okay?
Yeah, here Friday.
Yeah, we had a long discussion last night about our schedule. By the way, just FYI, in January 2021, the price is going up.
I know
Huh?
that's right.
I said 2021. What the hell? Where am I at? Sorry, y'all. 2023. The price is going up, and because y'all getting phone. Oh, and you know what? When we went to IKEA this weekend, they had this cool stand, but it was flimsy. I was like, I ain't buying that for y'all. I almost bought one for all of y'all. It was flimsy, but it had the light, the ring light, and the phone stand connected to it, and it was like two arms. But the arms it couldn't even hold up my iPhone. My iPhone, it was like, I was like, everybody got bigger. Y'all, nobody have little, iPhone 5s or whatever, minis or whatever anymore. Them phones are heavy. It couldn't hold the phone up. So I was like, I'm not buying this. This look like if tear up one good time. You put a jumbo iPhone on there, it'll be broke, and I'll be mad. Okay. So yeah, the price is going up in 2022 and 2023. Sorry. 2023. The price is going up in 2023. And we're also going to be offering advanced nail technician. So we're not going to do $525. You guys are going to be able to take the course, and you'll get the discount. But in 2023, we're going to have regular nail technician, 525 hours, $5,000, around $5,250, I think we said. $110, $5,250. And then the advanced nail technician means it's going to include the e-file certification and the advanced nail technician course, but it's going to be $6,000 and 600 hours. So you'll have a license that you guys are getting that anyway, 600 hours, and of course you already got the discount on the tuition, and you know what I'm saying. So you guys are good. But you also have the option to take that if you want to. 2023, you got two choices. You can get regular nail tech, and just 525 hours, be stuck in Georgia for the rest of your life, or do 600 hours, get advanced nail tech, pay $6,000, and you have all those certifications.
She said, I need 1,050 hours. Where you at?
No, you need 1,050 hours when you do apprenticeship. Don't nobody have 1,000 hours. In Georgia, it's 1,050 hours. Can I use this license in other states? You can. If you you got to get your Georgia license first, and then you transfer it to another state. So you guys understand what y'all are doing as far as soaking off?
Everybody wanna buy the file.
They can. We have 24 of them coming. I know, but we got students that want some too. Remember? Anybody on the Zoom have any questions? My Zoomies, do y'all have any questions about soaking off? What about y'all? What about state board? Everybody clear on state board? If y'all want to try one of these little foils, you can, and do a sculpted nail and soak it off so you can practice that.
Can I use that odorless monomer to do it?
Yeah, I'll let you guys. Yeah, the odorless monomer is in that little up there where that monomer is.